Hello, AfterBuzzers. You are watching the Jane the Virgin After Show, and tonight we are discussing a very serious, a very sad, a very goodbye episode, Chapter 54. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
A moment of silence. Hello, AfterBuzzers! You are watching the Jane the Virgin After Show on AfterBuzz TV. I am your host, Stephanie Giorgi. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to our page. Find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere. We're there. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi. And tonight I'm hosting with...
Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA. Franceli here. And you can follow me at Selly Hangout.
Silly hangout. Oh my gosh. So we're crying, we're sorry.
Woo!
This episode.
I hope
Jesus.
everyone's watched the episode before they're listening to us. If you have not watched the episode,
stop
please,
this.
Yes.
Stop it right now. Go watch. Come back.
You need to watch.
In fact, my roommate just messaged me, WTF.
Like, for real.
Lucy, we'll talk about this
Twitter's going crazy.
in a little bit. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
yes, the memes on Twitter right now
my God.
are my life.
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
exactly what these, like, just, it's actually trending. Jane the Virgin is trending right now on Twitter. If you're on Twitter right now, check it out.
My heart's okay. My heart's beating a little bit. This is good. This is the reason why we do this show. This is the reason why y'all watch it, is because we want to talk about it. We love it. We resonate with it. And tonight will be a really good discussion.
We got to be each other's support system here.
We do. And so first off, I just want to say shout out to all our Team Michael fans.
Yeah.
You already know how I feel because I've been running my mouth for the last 54 chapters. So
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Exactly. Anyway, so we'll start from the top. Let's actually go through this episode. We start with a lovely flashback of Michael in 1994, 7 years old, Halloween night.
This cute little
Dressed up as a little popo.
Listen, you know how crazy it is that, like, once I saw it, I was like, oh, they're married now. Now they're going to do little Michael flashbacks. I was
Read
like,
your top. I read
it. I was like, we'll see if they keep this up. Jane the Virgin writers, I hope you keep this up.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I was like, hey, this isn't something about Jane's past.
Yeah, it's Michael. It was
Michael.
so touching.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Oh man, that was crazy. So I don't know. I guess we see Michael from the beginning. Really sweet. Everything is great. We're gonna go chronological order. So now I gotta stop right there and go to the next scene.
We're gonna stop there.
We're doing this for our fans though, for our
Yes.
viewers. So
Yes.
it makes it easier for you guys. So then we see Jane. Then everything goes back to normal. Nice little flashback. We see where Michael's head is at, where it was, where it is, where it was. Okay. Anyway,
Shut your mouth.
So I know, right? So then we see
Shut
Jane.
your mouth.
Jane and Michael are discussing. They're talking about what they want to do, plans for the future, and then Jane goes out to an interview for a job from Chloe Leland, a very young, successful writer, novelist, author, whatever you want to call her.
Is this a Devil Wears Prada in the making?
Perhaps.
I was like, I don't know how I feel about
Jane
her
the new Anne
vibe.
Hathaway?
I don't know how I feel about her vibe though.
Me neither. I personally think that she was bribing her. So we see her do this interview with this lady, and she published a non-fictional memoir of something when she was younger, and then she gets caught up later via Jane's memory with Michael. I don't know if I can talk about anything else.
Get it together, Stephanie. Get it together.
Oh my God. Okay, so we see that happen. Let's talk. This is the reason why I like to do
Yes.
this.
So for me, like, on one hand, I was like, okay, Jane's like super prepared. Hey now, for like winning of the interview skills, I want Jane to like come over to my house and prep me for interviews.
Right.
Because like if I could go in and slam dunk interviews like that, I wouldn't be unemployed as often.
Right.
Welcome to LA.
Welcome to LA. Were you on the unemployment line very often?
No, I feel you. No, she does do a great job, and this shows just the kind of character that Jane is. In fact, I actually ran into a fan of the show, and we were just discussing, and she knew that I did the podcast, so she felt comfortable talking to me in depth about the show.
Okay.
And she's like, she grabs my arm and says, I've just never seen a series like this where they put a woman in a position that she's in, and it's one that's still naive but has so much power.
Right.
And I just kind of want to remind us of that's what's so wonderful about Jane the Virgin. One, she's a Latina, and we don't. Yikes! It's all Latinas right now on the show. Right?
Hey, Latina takeover.
Hey. So
Okay.
we see that, but she is someone who stands her ground, sticks to what she believes in, and still is triumphant.
Right.
Towards the end, so that's really great. We see her like this throughout everything that she goes through, and even through tragic things, which we'll see how she kind of does after tonight's great event. Not great event, very sad event.
Yeah, I'm all great.
I know. Okay, so again, she's
Epic.
interviewing with Chloe Leland, and she gives her an assignment to do, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Then we go to Rogelio. He's excited because there's a red carpet event. They are going to be screening finally the movie that he is
Exposed.
in.
XXX.
So I think that was like the most times I've ever heard the word penis on network TV. Have you guys ever played the penis game?
No.
You like start off really slow, you say penis, and then the next person says penis, but a little bit louder, and then you keep going and getting louder and louder just to see. Like,
Do you do this in public?
dude, I did it on an airplane once. It was hilarious.
What? OMG.
You guys have never played the penis game?
No.
I would have won.
Penis!
Someone would have been like, penis. I would have been like, penis!
You would have just like
Next
anteed
volume.
it
I would
up.
have been like, do you want to hear how I project? Ew.
Anyways,
That was horrible.
This whole show, every time he said penis, I was like, penis.
Penis. And so Russia towards the end, it got a little weird because he was like, it looked like he was doing the sucky thing. Penis, penis, penis. And I was like, yikes. Rogelio, calm down. Don't be yelling at Darcy like that, okay?
Okay, and somebody always has their phone out.
Yeah. So the whole reason why we're yelling penis is because we finally see this screening.
Yes,
and
he goes to the screening.
They cut Rogelio's
Penis.
They cut it.
They cut
cut
the
it
seat.
out.
Cut it.
And he thinks
Cut
it's
it.
ridiculous.
Cut it.
Hey,
Cut it.
cut it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
Terremoto.
Hey, sorry, inside jokes. Not funny for the crowd. All right.
All right.
So then we move on and we see penis.
Just trying to lighten the mood here.
Yeah, well,
We're trying to stay
that's
smiling.
good because once we get to the big guy,
The
Right.
big guy.
bets roll
Big guy.
off.
But my thing is, oh my God, Rogelio, what's the gift and the curse about Rogelio is
His
like
passion.
his passion and how he cannot control it. And he's just making this scene in the middle of the movie theater.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Cut my
You
penis.
you don't do that.
Yeah, but do you see? I feel like you get it, right? Would you say there's a lot of actors in Los Angeles whom
Their scenes get cut all the time.
their scenes
All
get
the
cut, but I'm
time.
saying to want to just have like a serious role. Like, do you think it's a
Yeah.
good idea for him to do the De La Vega factor or no?
The reality show.
I don't know. I mean, if we want to get kind of semi-technical,
Yeah, let's
per
get
se,
technical about it.
Like, we live in an era with social media where everything's right at your fingertips, and reality is just. I'm not saying it's like in
Right,
It's been
yeah.
in for
a
like
while.
at least a decade now. Some people really can make a career off of reality. Some
talk
people
about it.
can't.
Yeah.
It's the same as anything else, though. What? Tell me now.
I'm laughing. Again, my housemate, she's sending me messages, and she said, "I just watched Jane the Virgin. Seriously, what? Tell me it's a lie. Had to rewind 3 times. I can't handle this right now.
I can't deal.
I can't. That's what she wrote. I can't deal.
I can't deal. I can't deal. I'm a mind reader. You don't know? I'm an empath.
Hey, you're an ass. Can't wait to get into that.
Can't wait to talk about that.
Oh, okay. So you know what? We had a really good attempt at this chronological thing. We're gonna go to my story lights. All right. So let's finish with Rogelio and Darcy. You're right. I think that this will be better for him because the way he is in general is perfect for reality.
Yeah,
he is a reality
he is
show.
a reality
Come
show.
on. So dramatic. And then honestly, it was a great gesture because he did really like offend Darcy, and it was really like machismo, and I didn't like it
was.
because I've never seen that side of him. Like he's normally so sweet and loving to everybody, and it was like, whoa.
And to be machismo, al mismo tiempo, at the same time, yelling penis. Come on, se pasó.
Right.
Right.
Se pasó.
Se pasó.
He went overboard.
He did.
I mean, like he when he was talking about grand gestures, and Michael's like, "Oh, I whittled a giraffe," and he was like, "No, that's nothing." he has to be extravagant. That's just Rogelio. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we'll see him come. We'll see what happens, and especially because there's a possibility here that this thing with him and Darcy becomes something. So we see in the previews, but again, this is just a guess. We'll get into it a little bit later.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what happens in Rogelio's life right now.
I'm confused.
And also his penis was sent to Chloe Leland.
Yes.
Yes.
The naked pics.
The naked
Nudies.
pics.
No, I'm confused though, like about the whole reality thing. Had she mentioned that in a previous episode that she had wanted to do that? Because I felt kind of like, wait, what?
No, I think she did. I don't know, but because you know how they in real life there's the $1 Million Matchmaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I'm assuming that's what
They're playing off that.
They're playing off that exactly. So we'll see. That'll be exciting. Hey, by the way, if you guys want to talk to us, tweet XOXO Cheska right now, and she's gonna be following it.
Ha.
Hey, I'm hosting a show right now. I can't be looking. I'm just playing. I'm gonna look too, so you can tweet me
Yeah.
also if you guys wanna. If you want me to read some stuff, I'm on it.
We're on it. Or on the live chat.
Yeah, can we pull up the live chat, please?
Live chat.
Grazie.
5 days late. Would you freak out if you were 5 days late?
Well, I guess that depends. Okay, I don't want to get personal, but everybody's different.
She ran to that pregnancy test.
Some people have really, really regular menstrual cycles, so it's a bit freaky. However, I think it's funny that, in my experience, not personally, but just, well, I guess, yeah, with everybody that I know, it's always when you get scared and then the next day your period comes. Like a moment of panic, and that's all you get.
Panic.
Panic.
A moment of panic, and then.
But stress can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stress does a whole bunch of stuff
on
to your
your
body.
body.
Everything
And they've
does.
been going through
your
a lot
diet,
of stress.
everything, yeah.
They've been going through a lot of stress, that family. But I think I love that Michael was so happy about it.
Me too.
That
when
was-
he
oh,
teared
that was
up.
so cute.
I don't think I thought that he was gonna freak out exactly, but I didn't expect him to be as happy as he was.
It was literally 2 days before the LSAT.
Exactly,
Like,
but it
I
got
would have been stressed.
the way he teared up right away, and he wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you forget because all of a sudden, right when I see him cry a little bit, boom, I got a flashback of his entire life, just the Jane the Virgin, series. From the beginning that we were introduced to him and everything that happened to them. I bet you for that, this was going to complete them.
Yeah.
Right, because he's married
missed
to
it.
someone who has a kid that's not his.
Right,
Yeah.
and he loves Mateo and everything else,
right.
but this was the opportunity.
For them to have one together.
And when Jane said that she was imagining a little Michael, and that's why she got so emotional. Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right. Okay, so we saw that happen.
But no baby for Jane at the end.
No baby for Jane at the end.
Andrea Chavez in live chat says, telenovela twist. She is still pregnant. That'd be funny.
And you know what
wow.
though? But because they had sex.
Ooh, that's a
she
good
could
one.
be because right after the
they
carnival,
did have sex
they had
after
sex.
the carnival.
So Andrea, yo,
Hey,
But
that's
cross
a
our
great
fingers.
prediction.
Yes.
I like that prediction.
and you know what? It's gonna. And I was thinking that because this from the beginning, all I can think about is Pearl Harbor, and I know it's gonna be a Danny and oh my
Dude, I
God.
can't remember the movie. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, they have the one that dies lives on through his child. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Yeah, that's
who
true.
dies?
Oh,
Stop it. They're already talking about
know,
it on
I
the
know.
chat. I'm getting crazy.
yeah. So, thanks guys for joining us in the chat room.
Yes. Shout outs to y'all.
How now every time they say Michael, I will cry. Who
Hey.
Billie Jean, you funny. I know you ain't lying. Me too, girl. Okay, so then we have a little
man.
scene between everything that's going on with Petra, Anishka, and Scott Archuleta.
Scott.
Archuleta. I was
Great
waiting for that.
Scott.
I was waiting for his last name because I actually really liked it last episode, but I didn't write it down. So we see them get together, and I'm happy that Anishka doesn't have such like an evil thing behind her, even
She's
though
not
Scott did
Petra.
with the whole cloud thing.
Yeah.
And she's not
You're
Petra.
right. She's not Petra.
She's not Petra, and like she said, ugly heart but beautiful face.
Right.
And fortunately, Anishka was a good auntie, so hopefully that'll do something for Petra, either make her better or realize that Anishka could be around, and then maybe Scott will eventually get over whatever's happening. But that's what we see there. And I really liked to see Petra so vulnerable in this episode.
She had a mommy moment.
She had a mommy moment.
She did. It was so beautiful.
And you know what? The only time I think we ever really see Petra's character good is when she's with Raph. There's something about Raph
that
from
brings
the
out
beginning.
the good of her.
Yes.
But I love both of them. Like Raph's vulnerability to want to be an example for his children. That was just so like a big moment for him. Like I was just like, wow.
Everyone in this episode was kind of coming around, like they were coming in for the win. We even saw Xiomara have a bit of a triumph this episode as well.
Right.
It was actually really cool. We got to see Xiomara, Alba, Bruce, Jane, and Tess have dinner together.
Oh my God. Awkward.
It was awkward. It was a little awkward, but you know what? Typical teenagers, they want to make things awkward, make a point, be subtle, be very passive, because that's all they know. And then afterwards, something happens where they make a discussion and her and Jane have a moment.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You live by here? Wow.
That latte,
I love that place.
That latte is totes legit.
So legit.
Hashtag.
Hashtag, I'm going to show up at your house trash.
Yeah.
Where the heck did she get trashed?
Because this is my thing. Just because we had that moment, you think it's okay to show up at my house? Oh, girlfriend, no. Jane's too nice because it wouldn't gone down like that with me.
Yeah.
Well, I do think it was that she was testing everything.
Oh, maybe.
You think so?
I think obviously she was drunk. I don't know. I didn't buy it, but whatever. She was drunk. But once they took her to Xiomara and Abuela's house, like I know she knew what she was doing.
I think so too.
She was acting out. She
think,
wanted the attention. She wanted to know, like, are these people gonna care about me?
Yes, and I think that she was just kind of sad too, and then she sees how serious this is getting. She's finally invited to the Villanueva home.
Right.
She sees the way that they are, which we all know these women are wonderful women, and they have respect and manners, and you know, so I think she sees a little bit of that when she's at the house. She gains a little bit more respect for Jane because Jane doesn't live at home anymore, is married, lives in Wynwood, and, you know, has it going on. I think that she got drunk and subconsciously wanted to be around them, but also as a teenager, I would be really exhausted to hate. Because you just want to, like, get over the hurt of your parents divorcing and your dad being miserable and hating on your dad's girlfriend and maybe wanting a relationship with your dad also.
That's exactly why people hate... I hate using that word.
No, go ahead.
But it's because they're feeling some way about something going on in their life, and they're just lashing out on everyone else.
Yeah. People project.
Yeah, it's just predictions. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
Projections.
So yeah, she's still dealing with everything. Like the last time that her dad got involved with Zoe, it was like her parents broke up, so she was just, you know.
Well, fortunately, she is getting a little bit older. You start seeing things. Perspective is changing and everything else. But that's really nice. And then Zoe for the win at the end, because we know how girls are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She knew that Tess was like a little bit awake. So she took the opportunity, spoke to Bruce, leveled, and then Tess could hear like a real side of Xiomara.
Right.
Which was awesome. I always get nervous though, because I think the biggest thing for a girl is that how could I ever have love for another woman that's not my mother?
Right.
And that's just like loyalty. And hopefully you would think that if the mother, it's up to the mom to embed in that girl, like, I'm gonna be your mom no matter what, but you have to have respect for other women, especially if they're gonna be in your father's life.
Right.
Which I think that it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Yeah. Okay, and then one other thing before we get into the big stuff. Oh wait, last thing. I loved it when Alba said, "Métate!" into the
Ahora
van.
mismo.
Ahora mismo. She's like, this ain't my first rodeo.
You know what?
My daughter's Xiomara Villanueva. Do you know about that?
You know what's really funny is when I was in college, I lived near the school, and so I would always see people drunk, like walking home from parties and stuff. And there was one time that we were driving through the neighborhood, and there was a girl on a bike just drunk, like biking, and that's exactly what I thought about.
Next
really
time drive by and be like, "Métate!"
Métate.
Yeah.
Ahora mismo.
Yeah. And
what do we think about Rose?
Well, I was just gonna say, now some things never change,
Right.
because Luisa
stupid
had
Luisa.
Listen, someone in the chat just said that every time Rose shows up, something happens to Michael, which is
true.
so crazy. I
is.
wasn't even thinking that, so shout outs to you.
Yeah,
To Marios.
that's true. Except for, and you know what? Let's give Raph some props for coming out and be like, cool, if you're trying to be in this family, I'm gonna need a blood test, an X-ray,
Right? 'Cause
MRI, the whole thing,
'Cause
swab.
we don't play in
We
this,
don't play that.
this family no more.
Biologically, they're not even related.
But he's
we got
going in.
people doing plastic surgeries underneath the hotel
Right.
back in the day.
Right, his daddy's buried up in the Maria somewhere. Marbella, I meant.
Que telenovela. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, we're gonna see some crazy stuff happening. Luisa is so loyal to both her murderous girlfriend and her unbiological brother. So
Right.
at least we can give her some props on that. She said that blood does not matter.
I don't. But you saw the second after that scene, she got on the phone and called someone.
She did, but because
We
she
know
wants
who she
Raph,
was calling,
and
though.
because she wants Raph in her life still. It just sucks though because
But why is she gonna do shady shiznits then? You know.
she's not. She's just like,
What is she
Rose,
up to?
Let me
you could-
play devil's advocate here.
Rose
all right?
really loves Luisa.
And this
They're
is the
crazy.
thing. She's in love with someone that she has to keep a secret. And that's tough. All I'm saying is when you really like somebody and you can't share that love, this was the opportunity where she can find somewhere to like, okay, I'm willing to look past the fact that you're not my real brother.
Yeah.
Now, are you willing to look past the fact that I'm
No.
in love with this woman that killed your not so
She's-
father?
She's thinking, look it, she killed my daddy. I'm all right.
And he not really your daddy, you should be all right.
That's exactly it.
Where's Mari when you need him? Jesus.
Right? Rafa's
You
not
are the
playing
baby.
this one, I know.
You are the father.
You
He
are the
wasn't.
baby. It's all the
that
babies
say?
like.
Mima 135, Raph really wasn't playing. And then earlier I saw someone said, please, Steph, Raph and Petra do not need to be together.
Yes.
I know, they don't. I'm not
No,
saying that.
we're
I'm just
team-
say-
we're team Raph and Jane.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's good to see them together because Petra has some good in her. I don't think that she needs to end up with Raph, but
Yeah.
for now on, for a lack of better words, Raph is like her bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Her brother, because that's the only thing she's got closest to her at this point.
She has
because
no other
Magda's
family.
not there. Aneshka, she's still kind of warming up to, but at the same time, she's traumatized by that.
I just honestly, I can't stand Luisa. And even though she might not necessarily have bad intentions,
She's a hot mess.
she's a hot mess and she brings everyone down in flames with her.
Yeah.
And I need
agree.
her to goodbye.
Yeah.
You are the weakest link.
Yeah.
You're fired.
You're
Fired.
fired.
While I talk about this next part, read this last one because I can't read it. So in this episode, Xiomara's cool with Bruce and Tess. Rogelio fights and makes up with Darcy. Alba is, starting to accept that she's about to have all of her girls away from her. Petra is getting over all of this trauma and trying to accept.
Jane
Lisa's
gets
trying to swoop in the fam again. Jane gets hired.
Yeah, she does.
New
that was a
job.
good
And
moment.
she does a
Does
dope
little
ass
dance.
victory dance. Boop, boop.
We love victory. dance.
And then Raph is going through some trials and tribulations, but at the same time, it's like a coming of age for him as well, like a new passage in his
His
life.
road to redemption.
His road to redemption.
Yes.
Thank you. He shall prevail.
Yes.
He wants a clean slate. Is decided that he just wants to come forth and then do this 9 months of jail and then come back. Now, the reason why one of the things that triggered him in this episode was when he went to go pick up Mateo. Jane was saying that he was being very repetitive, mimicking a lot, and
Right.
was copying his daddy, and he doesn't want to be a bad influence for his children. Okay, now forgive me, and no disrespect to Michael. During this part, I looked at you and I was like, I don't know why I still always see it. Something about when they're together, when they're talking, I feel some type of way.
Wait, who?
Raph and Jane.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I feel some type of way. Now, we see Michael this entire episode, and he is super nervous. We get a flashback of when they went to the carnival and how he was so nervous to be around her. And in the beginning, did you guys, am I tripping, or was it really like Michael's heart that was glowing first and then hers not? And then in the flash forward, they're both were glowing.
when they're on the Ferris wheel, you're talking about?
Oh, there's a couple of times. It's
I
like
saw glow, but I saw
both
from both.
sides. Okay,
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're reminiscing about these like parallel memories, and it's wonderful. You see where he's coming at. He has the stomach issue throughout the entire episode, and this is the worst thing, and this is the reason why we have to do like post-op, and check in and after your surgery and everything else, because something kind of goes wrong.
Yeah. But they were disgustingly cute.
They were. You guys know that
It's
I
like
always
right
say
before
I
Valentine's
love Michael.
Day. I was like, ugh.
I love
on.
Michael. I even Insta storied the scene. I was like, damn, that was such a good shot of them kissing. But like in the time now,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they
it's
were
just
talking
so
about
weird.
those pictures, those
they
memories.
made him look the best this episode.
Right.
The best this episode, and
They got us good.
they got us really good.
They reeled us in, even though we know, because I'm new here, but you guys have been Team Jane and Raph for a while. And team, yeah. But I think in this episode, as much as you didn't want to love them and like them, you kind of did. They got us wrapped into the world of
Yes.
Jane and Michael in such a beautiful way.
Right. And
to
they
crush it.
Yes. And they do it
so upset.
They do it so well because they bring up the future, And how do you not feel some type of way that when they start talking about the idea of having another child?
Right. And for Jane, who's always planning, she
Right.
straight up says, you know what? I'm okay if something
this is not
happens, if
part
the
of the
timeline
timeline.
changes.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, that's big for Jane. And yeah, we're always kind of on the Raph and Jane's side, but like we've never denied how true their love is,
Right.
and how like Michael
deserved
just
her.
adored her
He-
and
yes.
loved her.
Yes.
And that's the thing though, and I believe that also because from the beginning I used to always say like I love what I see there, and it's the whole you want what you kind of can't have, but Michael absolutely deserved it from the beginning because he did not stop loving her
Right.
until his last breath. Anthony,
And the
shout out to Anthony
narrator.
Mendez, the narrator. I love you, Papi.
Yo, he's the best.
I'm gonna make sure to like clip that and then
You know
add
he's
that
from
on
the
set.
Bronx, right?
Yeah, we had him on the show already. He's
okay.
Boogie
we
Down
love him.
Bronx.
We gotta try to get him come back.
Yeah, because then
Oh,
we
yeah,
have to
shit.
have our whole connection. Washington Heights / Bronx, New York in the
Yeah.
building. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do that.
We're gonna do it. Okay.
We're going to do it.
No, yeah. So then we see this last perfect day, and thank God for it. Thank you, writers, for even though you could almost feel it because for some reason it was just so good when she said, "I am so proud of you." These lasting moments and this
And then
cute
they had
police lunch pail,
That snapshot
That
of
was
him.
beautiful.
and ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cordero, R.I.P., is gone.
I can't. I just
He
got chills.
died this episode.
Can we talk about how mad I am that I found out before they did? Can we
Yes.
talk about that? Can we-
Gina, we love you, but
But you ruined it for the West Coast. So I'm, while I'm just gonna
Unless
keep it
we're
real.
watching
No,
it
keep
late.
real.
Are
I'm
we
just gonna
watching
keep
it
it
late?
real.
no, we did watch it late.
We did.
Never mind, Gina, we love
Sorry.
you.
Okay. Okay. So, while we're watching, I'm also on social media, staying abreast to what we're talking about. And I go on Gina's Instagram and she posts this video that Michael recorded on her phone, and she was just like, ugh, talking about him. And I was like, and this was before we saw the scene, so I had to like not tell my co-host because I didn't want them to know.
And then I got scared. We knew something bad
was gonna happen.
And here's the thing, though, and like me and Francesca looked at each other almost like we were the blame for Michael's death.
I mean,
How many times did we talk about it?
You guys are horrible. You guys
No, we
spoke
talked about
this
it
into
so many
existence.
times.
we didn't speak it into existence.
Yeah.
The writer spoke it into
They did.
existence. Because
Writers
that
were-
narrator always emphasized that he would love her till
Till
his
his
dying
dying breath.
day.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And
But I want to know, what was the decision? Like, they were in the writer's room and they were like, okay, so we're going to kill Michael.
No, they were like, they probably were like, there's something between Jane and Raph, or
But I feel
Why
like
not?
they could have
What?
kept, no,
You know
they
what
could have
sucks,
kept
actually?
going with
You're
Michael
right.
for sure.
But why when Michael died, I'm like, I don't want her to be with Raph anymore. Real, like,
now you
that's-
don't switch sides.
I just did. I'm too Michael
Oh my
now.
God,
Oh
you're
my
Team
God.
Michael now? I
Because
can't.
he's gone. That's
I
not
can't.
fair.
I can't.
You guys throw shade at me. Throw shade
Okay.
at me. I deserve it.
I don't understand how you're flipping sides. This is my thing. I kind of understand where you're coming from, not wanting Raph and Jane to be together now, because now it's like they're coming together because she's grieving and she's vulnerable.
But I also think it's because I finally see Raph in a good place. He doesn't look like he's longing and hurting over her.
Right.
And then I was just getting comfortable with Jane and Michael. Like they were bringing it back. Like the scene in the booth when they were kissing each other like that. I was like, okay, I
just
see
got
some of that
chills.
chemistry. But okay.
Someone just tweeted us a link from the
writers?
executive producer, Jenny Ehrman, and it says, I'll just read it, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Dearest Jane fans, I want to begin this letter by telling you about the magic of Brett Deer. Did I pronounce his name right?
Dreyer.
Sorry, I'm sorry. He took a character built from the beginning with secrets and moral lapse and made him so likable, so funny, so sincere in all the right ways that most of our writers' room became Team Michael by the end of the first season. And I honestly don't think I'll ever love a moment on our show as much as I love Michael's vows to Jane. Oh God, those also brought us tears.
That's
which is
crazy.
to say, that was a devastating episode for us to write. It was also a decision made very early on when I thought about our story as a whole. And even in season 1, I knew it would be a hard thing to actually do, which is why there was a line, which many of you noted, hey, y'all watch us, about how Michael would never stop loving Jane. And the narrator confirmed, for as long as Michael lived until he drew his very last breath, he never did. He never stopped loving her. Honestly, I put that line into the script at the last minute to hold our feet to the fire to make sure we went through with it, because even back then the writers could all see the magic of Jane and Michael together, not to mention Rogelio and Michael.
They're
oh no,
besties.
his best friend.
When he finds out, he's gonna be crushed.
It's just a little bit longer. Hold on.
Okay.
The other reason I put that line in the script was to prepare you a little. If the writers and actors loved Michael so much, then I knew it would be devastating for the fans. So then the only surprise we had left was when ... And again, it goes back to the magic of Brett. Originally, I thought Michael would die earlier, but Brett is such an incredible actor. He gave us such great comedy and drama and first-rate exposition delivery, often all in one scene. And he and Gina, well, there's that word again, magic. So we changed some things in the writer's room. Jane and Michael got married. They had sex.
Oh my God.
So that wasn't gonna happen.
That wasn't gonna happen.
I bet you. Oh, yes, because I knew it. Oh, keep going. We're gonna talk about
my
this.
God.
They moved into their first home, and I'm so glad we did that. And I'm so glad all of those firsts for Jane were with Michael. Stephanie's crying, everyone. But this is a telenovela, as we so frequently remind you, and we're only at our midpoint.
That's
You recall, back in the pilot, Jane was on a path. Things were mapped out, and then she was accidentally artificially inseminated, and everything changed. Well, now everything's changing again. How does our romance-loving hero move on? How does she get back the light and the hope? Well, it's certainly not quick, and that's why we're now 3 years later in her story. We'll be flashing back to those 3 years and filling in gaps, but miming emotions realistically is something we work hard on, and we knew the immediate plan of that loss would overwhelm our storytelling. After talking to grief counselors, this felt like the right time to re-enter Jane's journey. She'll always feel Michael's absence, and trust me, we will too, but it opens up our storytelling in new and exciting ways while allowing for the light and bright Jane world that we love to write.
Beautiful letter.
Which brings me to something I feel really badly about, the timing. I've had so many tweets lately about how Jane is the bright spot these days, and I know you just watched a gut punch of an episode, so I wanted to reassure you that Jane's optimism will rise up. Thank you guys so much for watching the show and for caring so passionately and going on our journey. And thank you so much to Brett for his talent, his passion, his humor on set. Michael will be missed in Jane's world just as Brett is already missed in ours. You guys, so they're really going to go 3 years forward. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is.
And they knew since the pilot they were going to kill him.
You know what?
That's crazy.
They did it so well though too, and you know that's why I was so surprised when they got married, because I thought, how do you get out of that, you know? But I could see the magic there too. Oh, okay, my little memory with Michael, his first visit with Raph, or him and Justin Baldoni, they came on AFTERBUZZ the first season, and I remember seeing Michael, but I had watched him on, I've told y'all this before, but I watched him on Ravenswood. The spin-off to The Pretty Little Liars, and I loved him in it. I loved him so much in it, and so I freaked out when I saw him, and Justin Baldoni's like, oh my God, that sucks. You were so much more excited to see him than me. And I was like, no, I love you, but Brad, I love you. So that's just so crazy. And also we watched a little video That was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina's video.
I don't know what it is. And, you know, being, you know, I guess we all act here in Los Angeles. We try to, we want to get in the business. It's so crazy, and I couldn't even begin to imagine the emotional roller coaster of ending a scene like this.
Can I just say that scene where Jane drops to the ground when Raph is coming in to pick up Mateo, like
gut-wrenching. I couldn't.
That was like the realest real I've ever felt. Like Gina's obviously an amazing actor.
That's why she has a Golden Globe.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why.
But
because
that
she can
moment,
do that.
that's when I was like, oh God, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna start to cry because
Yeah.
that was just like I felt every moment of pain I've ever had in my life.
Right.
You know, just flooded together in that cry that she had.
Ditto.
But speaking of what you were saying, Stephanie, about actors and coming together and that relationship and that bond, so for the last 3.5 years, they've been doing this show together. And she put this picture on her Instagram of them together. And she was like, you are my partner in artistic crime. We did 2+ seasons together, and I will never have the words to express how you changed my life. Thank you, Brett.
He's crying again.
Dream come true acting partner. And that's true. Like, you know,
Hot in here.
Yeah.
she's great, and so is he. And that's the thing. When you're able to show up to work and have someone who pushes you to greatness,
Absolutely.
that's what they have in each other. And it's the end of a
beautiful
era. Yeah.
I always thought it would happen. I just never expected it to actually.
And like someone just said on the chat, like we didn't even get to see like their 1-year anniversary. Like there's just so much. They just got married, like literally.
Yeah. But that was good. I mean, honestly, this is what I live for, is for a show, for cinema, for let me feel something, you know? But well done. I mean, this was great. Such a good climax. So sad that we have to say goodbye to this beautiful character / person / actor. And hopefully we can get him on the show as soon as we possibly can.
Oh my God.
Like ASAP. Get here ASAP.
Right.
What about this wedding?
Well, we'll see. I was going to say on that note, let's go into predictions.
Predictions. Lord.
Riley Rose, it almost killed me too.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
So we see Jane with her beautiful new haircut, looking grown and motherly as ever.
Yes,
Mateo
in that dress. Mateo in his little tux. Oh my God.
And he's talking.
He can talk.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That means that the twins are probably running around.
Right.
We'll see if what Petra, who the person that she has become, who Rogelio's married. Is it Rogelio that got married, or is it Xiomara that got married?
And is it Rogelio and
Xiomara? Yeah. We don't know. It's
3 years.
It's
That's a long time.
And we didn't see it.
or oh my God, what if it's Petra and Raphael again?
Shut up. I don't even want to.
I would be pissed.
No.
I'm writing a list of all the possibles.
The possibles. I can't.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to do it.
Oh my God, it could be Alba and the guy from the...
Shut up.
It could be Alba
And the guy from the gift shop?
Yes, girl.
Stop it.
Yes, girl.
Girl.
Espérate.
Espérate. Pause. Time out on the play. So, what you mean to tell me is, see, when we talk about Alba, I gotta get in my accent. But wait, no, because when they were on the porch, that's a good prediction though, because when they were on the porch and Jane's like, okay, you know, she's married, she got the job.
She cries, she's like, I hope it happens soon.
And then Xiomara's like, you know, in 6 months we might be moving in together, and then Alba's gonna be left all alone. But maybe not.
I hope it's something.
Alba gets her groove back.
You don't have a rose or anything, so you can throw
Alba
it whatever
gets her
you
groove
want,
back.
girl.
Like, I hope it's something like that. That's major for her character, but not a major twist in like the plot,
Right.
if you will.
Now, do you think that, because we don't see it and there's a very, very good possibility that Jane does have Michael's baby? Do you think that Jane should have Michael's baby, or do you think that it would just be this weird, lingering thing?
Wait, if she's...
Wow, I think that would be nice and a great reminder of Michael. I think Michael
Needs to die
here. I think that's just. I mean, the executive producer was saying, like, they knew his storyline was gonna.
He got to a really good place.
Even at the end,
he was
said,
like,
"That's
"I'm so proud of you." You know, like.
And because Michael took care of his baby and took care of his family.
Yeah. And then he also, I think that like Ralph felt comfortable that finally, like if he was gonna go to jail, that he can trust that he has a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
And they have a beautiful village. Everyone's co-parenting. They're this joined family, and it's like I can go to jail and know that like my family will be taken care of.
And I kept thinking in my head too. He said that he needs his clean slate, and I couldn't help but think like in his head he didn't want to tell Petra because she couldn't hear it. But he's like, Jane and Michael are gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
You know. But now there's no.
But
Jane
now
and Michael.
there's no Jane and Michael. So is Raph still gonna go to jail? He might change his mind after this. He might fight to stay out because now Jane needs him.
Oh my God,
there's so much going on.
Jenny Erman, you got me all messed up right now.
Give Stephanie a hug. She needs one.
Billie Jean.
But
no, I'm just reading the chat. The chat is going off. They're going crazy, but
it's lit.
It's lit. But I do believe that Gina does deserve another Emmy or a Golden Globe nomination for this episode. They just said that. I agree. I agree. She killed it. And I'm at a loss for words. I can't even lie.
My question for you guys is, how do you feel? Because this is, I mean, obviously we're sad, but what do you feel for the show? And this also kind of goes in turn with predictions, but this is Jane the Virgin, and in this last handful of episodes, Jane is no longer a virgin, and now she is a widow. Like what's the tone? Now we're going 3 years forward. Like, what do you guys feel about the show?
I think it's perfect. We went to predictions and right back into discussion. Sorry, y'all, but go ahead, you first.
No, I was gonna say, I'm in the prediction stage, and someone in the chat said it as well. Abuela is a widow, and now Jane's a widow, so that brings them like closer together in a particular way. And what does that do to their relationship now that they have that common ground? And obviously Alba's gonna be back. Yes, Alba's always been the light in this household in terms of God's light. You know what I'm saying? You know, God is love, and Alba is the epitome of God's love in this family. La abuela is like the, you know, and so she is going to be God's love on earth to help bring Jane back, to resurrect her from her darkness. Because when you lose a love like that, there's just, you gonna fall into some really dark places. So that's my prediction. Alba's gonna be the thing that brings her out.
I think that it's perfect. It's brilliant. I mean, it's so sad to say bye to a character like this, but at the same time, like she said, we have to remember where Jane was at in the beginning. We need to see this character flourish again. We need to see her be somewhere else instead of she. It's unfortunate and ridiculous to say, but it's almost as if she got too comfortable in this marriage, and she needs to be kind of taken off her tracks again. And sometimes we need to be taken out of our comfort zone to re-embrace, to climb something up again. You know, you reach a point to start at the bottom again and then go up.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like this is not an ending of a chapter. I feel like this is ending of like a whole book.
Yeah. You're right.
You know, and
that's why part 3 it is.
Well, I know there's part 3, but it's like this is the end of a book.
Yeah.
Are you trying to hand something, girl?
No, I'm just saying like this it's just going to feel like it's going to take a different tone from here on out.
Because it's no longer Jane the Virgin.
No, not in regards to just the virgin thing, but just like everything that happened. It's just like this is gonna be a different show. It's gonna be the great same light and laughter and love, but it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be good though because Michael I think still counts as her innocence. Michael still counts as her virginity. At one point in the show, we had talked about if we really thought that Jane was going to lose her virginity prior to her losing it. And I remember thinking, I do. And even though I believe her and Raph should be together from the bottom of my heart, I knew that she had to lose her virginity to Michael because he was the right one, not even Raph. Raph. Regardless of their love and regardless of their chemistry, but because Michael knew her on a different level. And you know, when you kind of share your body with somebody else, it's like a more friend level, and it's weird to be around bodies and see them naked and get to know each other and how we feel and to climax and to do all these things. And Michael was the perfect person for that. And if you're going to be with someone like Raph, you have this passion and stuff, you both do need to kind of go through these experiences to be able to bring each other something more. That's not to say that she's going to end up with Raph again, because at this point I kind of don't care, because it's like you don't appreciate something until you've lost it.
Right.
And America, I did not appreciate Michael until I lost him, because Jesus, I am hurting right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if is there anything else? Please get whatever. This is a grieving period for all of us. And I want you to
I think that's
grieve.
interesting that the EP said that they actually spoke to a grievance counselor
Yeah.
to see how to move forward in
Absolutely.
the script. I think we're definitely gonna have to grieve this coming week until
Yeah,
next week's episode.
And Brett's little video, that had to have been like some sort of method acting too.
Yeah,
to
because
make-
he was
Michael.
He was being Michael.
Yeah.
That was really hard to watch.
If I was Gina and I found that in my phone, I would freak.
Yeah.
I would be so emotional because like
Yeah.
But
Stop
we
crying.
gotta go, guys.
Stop crying.
where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at all things at Sully Hangout.
Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
Y'all, thank you so much for talking with us tonight. We're gonna continue to talk about Michael, so don't worry about it. If you want this chat to kind of keep going, tweet us. I'm at Stephanie Giorgi on Twitter, and let us know on some YouTube comments as well. We love you guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Goodbye, Michael.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.